Hello, students. This is Mr. Gore, and for your two film assignments in the course, I wanted to create an instructional video where I explain the instructions to you and explain what you're going to be doing on this assignment. And so for your U.S. History 2 class, I have two film assignments that you're going to be doing in the course, and then you'll do a writing assignment over the dropping the atomic bomb. And so for the first film assignment, I'll explain that, and then I'll also go over the second film assignment as well. And so what you're going to be doing is you're only going to be watching one of the four documentaries. Now, if you want to watch all four, you certainly can, but you're only going to be completing your assignment over one of them. And so here are your options. You have the choice of The Murder of a President, which is over the assassination of James Garfield, Chinese Exclusion Act, which was passed in the 1880s that barred Chinese immigrants coming particularly to the West Coast states. The Gilded Age, which is about the first module in the course and just kind of the extravagance and what all was happening at that time. And then over Nikola Tesla, famous American inventor, and immigrated to the country, and about him developing alternating current electricity, or not developing it, but utilizing that. And so what's interesting is that PBS will sometimes make these films available. If you're a Passport member, which I donate every year to KERA, so I can have the Passport information for my students and so forth to be able to log in. They periodically make them available, and then they periodically take them down. So depending on what PBS has available in this course, whether they will be available or not through the PBS website. Okay, but if you are an Amazon Prime member, many of these are actually available via Amazon Prime. You also can rent these via YouTube. Because I use a free textbook, the small fee to rent one of these documentaries is very minimal compared to what a normal textbook would cost in the course and so forth. So I've also got the transcripts posted for these assignments, except for Tesla, just in case if any student has the need for academic accommodations, need a transcript for the documentary. And it's got some login instructions right here. Season 30 may not be available in this class and so forth, but Amazon Prime does have these available currently. Now that may change at the making of this. And so if that's the case, then I can post like a link to YouTube where you can rent these. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be writing a 2 to 3 page essay over one of these documentaries. The point of the documentaries is for you to visualize a time period, pick one of the topics that you find particularly interesting, and learn about it much more in depth than you ever would in the course via the textbook or my recorded lectures and so forth. And so this is meant to be somewhat interesting for you, help you visualize a time period, and help you kind of this part of history to help stick, depending on which one you want to watch. My wife doesn't even like history, and she enjoys these American Experience documentaries and so forth. So in an essay form, you're going to be basically, what did you learn from watching the documentary? How did it help you visualize a time period? What did you find interesting? What did you not? Anything that you have problems with, and so forth. And so also, depending on which film that you choose, you're going to be answering these questions within your essay specific to that documentary. Now, keep in mind that even addressing all of these questions is probably not going to fill the 2 to 3 page requirement. So basically, you're telling me what else that you learned in the documentary and so forth. Now, this is something that has gotten students in trouble over the years is they'll quote the film's transcript, and rather than just trying to watch the film, they'll just look at the transcript and just try to use that. That's not going to get you anywhere. Turnitin.com is built into Canvas. It will bust you for plagiarizing. I want to know what you learned, not what the transcript has to say. I know when you're taking notes, it's oftentimes easy to just take exactly what they say word for word, but put that in your own words. Tell me what you learned from the film. You should also not use any other source for this assignment. Okay. And the reason for that is I want you to learn from the documentary. The only other source you can use is your textbook. If you do use your textbook, kind of compare what you learned in the textbook from the film, you must cite the textbook. Okay. So let's go over these qualifications down here at the bottom. You need a 2 to 3 page paper that should be double spaced in 12-point Times New Roman font. No other font, guys. 12-point Times New Roman font. You can obviously write more than that. You should use 1-inch margins. If you use Microsoft Word or Google Documents, that's the margins that automatically come up. So don't change it. That's normal margins. And the reason why I have this in here is because I've had some students over the years that will make their margins wider, make it look like they wrote more than what they did. You're not going to fool anybody. Also, normal paragraph length, which is 4 to 8 sentences. I've had students over the years that try to do a paragraph indentation every 2 sentences or try to make their paper seem longer than what it is. That's also not going to fool anybody. Normal paragraph lengths. So you're going to use MLA format, which is going to have your name, class name, instructor name, date, title, etc. And to have a minimum of full 2 pages, you want to at least have the same number of lines from your name, title, and all that stuff, which is about 4 to 5 lines on a third page to make sure you have a second page minimum, and so forth. So Turnitin.com is built into Canvas. It will check for plagiarism. If you cheat, you will get caught. Remember, do not use any other source than the film or documentary for your, as well as your textbook. Okay. And what a lot of students will do is they'll try to go online to look at different stuff rather than just watch the documentary, and they'll get busted for plagiarism. It happens every semester, unfortunately. Do not do that. Watch the documentary that you choose. You can compare it with what you read in your textbook, but tell me what you learned addressing those questions above that I just went over. Okay, let me go over the rubric, which is also posted on the assignment. And so here is basically the rubric, and I just got it pulled up. And so the assignment's worth 75 points. Same thing for the second film assignment. So let me go over your second film assignment really quick, because you're going to have that in the course. Now, second film assignment is actually pulling topics from the Module 2 and Module 3 in the course. I used to do a third film assignment, but I cut that down to just 2 film assignments, but I expanded the options. And so all of these are from American Experience, except for the Price for Peace. This one's actually a very popular pick for students and usually really fascinating about the war in the Pacific. But I got a brief kind of what each of these are going to be about. Here's the rubric as well. And so sometimes PBS takes them down, sometimes they're available. And so you can use this login to see if any of them are available. And so also you can go straight to the film and then just click log in and use the gore@grayson.edu and then history 2019 for the password and so forth. But here is also the transcripts in case you need those if you have academic accommodations. Just like on the first film assignment, you are writing a 2 to 3 page paper. And these are the questions specific to those assignments and so forth. And then here's the same qualifications around the assignment that the first film assignment had. Please let me know what questions you have. I want to make sure that each of you do well on these 2 film assignments in the course. You should earn full credit if you follow directions and so forth. And these are usually students' favorite assignments for those that do them well and correctly. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.